This is the DIY Terrarium Kit, and we are going to be filling it to the top with these materials here. All right, so in front of us we have our instructions, and you're going to want to remember to start from the bottom of the instructions and follow along. We're going to be filling the jar, so you start bottom and go up. So the first step is we're going to create a little funnel out of paper. This will help us more easily fill the jar. Okay. We start off with a little bit of gravel. Not too much. Just enough to give you a full layer on the bottom. A little bit more. Yeah, you don't want to see any glass at the bottom. And then we'll just shape that up. All right, so the next step is we're going to want to use the sand and then flatten it out with the tweezers. So back to your funnel. And you just want to get enough to cover the rocks a little bit at the bottom. All right, so I'm going to take the jar, give it a little shake. All right, and you can see that not quite enough sand. So we're going to put in a little bit more. All right. Then we'll take our tweezers and just flatten it out enough. Now this is going to act as the filter for the water when we put that in. So next we're going to want to put a little bit of tree bark right above there. Now, tree bark's a material that's going to help with the process of this terrarium. A little biological material to help it continue to grow. All right. Add a few more pieces in. Okay. And then you'll have a little bit of a layer there of the tree bark. And what you're going to want to use all of is your soil. So once again, we'll bring this back to the funnel. Okay. With the soil, we're just going to spread it out around the jar a little bit better. Okay. And now you have the base for your eternal terrarium. We're going to add our moss. Now, we don't have real moss for the purposes of this, because it is hard to package moss. But we've got this fake moss for you. In the meantime, you can use this, or you can choose to go out, find a different type of plant. Almost any type of plant should work in here. And you're just going to want to try and plant it into the soil with your tweezers. Now, I may have put in a little too much, so I'm going to take some out. We're going to go a little bit easier on this. So you're just going to want to push your moss down into the dirt. And if you're using real moss, try and make sure you plant it in. Okay. All right, and then when you're done, it should look something like this. I've decorated it with a little bit of the remaining wood, and some of the stones. And if we look at it on the inside, you should be able to see how it's decorated. Now, this again is fake moss. So what you're going to want to do is, if you want to have a live plant in here, you can replace the moss with the plant, and you'll use the little dropper. You're going to want about 3 milliliters of water, as it says on the dropper. And you'll just put that in. And when you seal it up, you shouldn't have any issues once you put it near sunlight for it to thrive in there. Now, you're going to prefer moss for that, because moss will be able to do it without having to open up the jar at all. But if you use a different type of plant, you may want to open it up every now and then, let it breathe, and possibly clean out some of the stuff on the inside. But once you're done, you have your eternal terrarium, and it'll make a nice display piece. So thank you. This has been the Brentwood Library, and have a nice day.